You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid. Bronny Boo.
Hi.
Here we are. Episode 12. Damn, we made it to 12 episodes.
I know.
Wow. It's going to be good. I have a feeling it's going to be a good one.
The specific one or just the podcast in general?
Both. I'm optimistic. I think it's going to be a good one. Yeah, here we are.
Why?
Man.
Why do you think that?
And here we go. Just why do you think I think that?
I don't know.
Okay, it's going to be, I'm feeling good. I got a good.
Yeah,
good,
I'm tired.
Yeah, well, you're always tired.
I was up till 4 a.m.
Doing what, Bronson?
Hanging out.
Being a man whore in Miami. That's my who.
Oh, God.
What?
That was, heard that on the mic. No, I wasn't being a man whore. I was just hanging out with friends.
All right. No, and you should have a good time, right?
Yeah, but I'm not, like, I need my sleep.
I know. You get, like, you need a Snickers. You get very, like a diva.
I got like 4 hours of sleep last night.
All right.
But I
don't be a pussy.
If I drink alcohol, I don't sleep well. Like I don't get hangovers, which is really nice. Like I've never had a hangover in my life.
Maybe that's your form of a hangover.
I just don't sleep long. Like I literally am up at 8 a.m. Even if I go to bed at 5, I'm just up at 8.
Maybe that's your form of a hangover.
Which is better. I'd rather be tired than feel sick.
Okay. Good.
Just one man's opinion.
No, it's your opinion. You said you rather, right?
Yeah. Would you rather? No.
So how is everything going with our listeners are increasing again?
Our listeners are increasing. We have a huge following in Brazil, which is so odd. Literally like half of our people are now listening from Brazil.
So we better make sure Brazil does well economically, stays a good country so they can listen to it.
So they can have the freedom to listen to our podcast.
Right. That's all we care about.
Our last episode, we had a lot of new countries. Germany, Ecuador, Turkey, South Africa, Mexico, Thailand, Greece, France, Algeria, Philippines.
Why do you think? Is it something related to...
I think it's just when we post them on, like this episode, I posted on a couple different like podcast sites and forums and whatnot. So I think it just gets picked up that way.
Okay, good. So
shout out to all our international listeners.
Appreciate it. Oof.
And we're on video this time. The video got messed up last episode, so we weren't able to post it. And just last episode kind of got messed up as a whole.
Well, yeah. The last episode was interesting. We got a lot of good feedback about the topic, a lot of bad feedback about the interruptions and the hostility. And we are definitely going to work on that this episode. So
yeah, but no, I'm joking. That was a joke.
Oh, fuck.
That was a joke.
Great joke.
I acknowledge that I was very bad interrupting. I didn't let anyone finish their thoughts last episode, and I am going to work on that. Okay,
this is not a therapy session, so we're good. Hey, so Bronny, one of our listeners said that she would like to know if we're doing it, and maybe that sounded pretty sexual, but if we are having our podcast, and maybe we could text her and get the feed, and she can maybe call in. Oh, but the problem is we can't do that because she won't know the topic what we're talking about. It's not live. So we'll do it during
This isn't live.
Right. We'll do it during one of our live ones.
We'll do it live. Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Oh, it's great. We got to watch that.
Okay.
We should watch it. It's, oh, fuck. What's his name? Who was he was like the old Tucker Carlson from like 10 years ago. Bill O'Reilly. So Bill O'Reilly has a really funny video. This is actually great. I can't believe you've never seen this. It's like a classic meme now.
When are we doing another live one?
I don't know. Soon.
And it won't be 2 hours, Bronson. That's too long.
No.
So one thing I want to say, which is a little sad, it's just Bronson and I right now, because Burke, Burke and Bryce went back to college this week. It's a little sad. I'm not happy.
It's just me and you.
Yeah.
Back to the OG team.
And how do you feel about that, Bronson? Meaning your brothers are gone and, the
house is kind of calm again, which is nice.
It is a little easier, but I do miss that.
Definitely easier.
I'd rather them be here.
Burke called me like 3 hours ago. So I'm not running a lot of sleep. Luckily, I took a nap before this, so now I'm feeling good. But earlier, I was pretty irritable because I was just so tired.
Oh, my God.
So Burke, oh, my God, at me being irritable?
All right, calm down.
I was tired. And Burke calls me.
Right, you're tired.
Okay, that's all I said is I'm tired. And Burke calls and he's like, Bronson, I'm driving your car right now.
The tire pressure light.
And the tire pressure came on. Am I fine? Should I just keep going? Or should I like stop at a gas station and fill it up? And I go, walk me through how you're going to fill it up. I was like, do you know how to do it? He goes, yeah, of course. And I was like, okay, tell me what you're going to do. And he's like, I'm going to pull in the gas station. I'm going to pull up to the machine thingy. And I was like, the what? And he's like, the air thing. I go, okay. And then he goes, and I'm just going to put it in. And then when it's enough, then I'll stop. And I go, how do you know it's when it's enough? And he goes, the car will tell me. I was like, no, it's not. You don't have you need a pressure gauge.
Right.
And he was like, do you have one? I was like, no. And he's like, okay, I'll just do it then. I was like, you're not touching. So I said, I was like, so in a bad mood, I was like, just call dad. I can't deal with this.
So he called me when I was walking Banks, and I told him, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. He was going hiking with his girlfriend, and I said, well, I shouldn't say girlfriend, maybe his friend, who happens to be a girl.
His friend who he's talking to. The girl he's talking to.
So either way, so I said, when you get there to the gas station, call me FaceTime. I'll tell you exactly what to do, and it's easy because the gauge is on. A lot of time, the gauge is directly on the air tanks. So I said, you call me, I'll help you. So he's going to FaceTime me when he's ready. Don't worry, I got it under control. Okay. It's all good. You got to learn somehow.
Yeah, I just don't trust Burke that great with those things.
I get it.
Which maybe I should be better at trusting him with them.
No, but it's fine. I will walk him through it. It's not that hard, and he's capable.
Yeah, I get a little worried with him in my car out there.
I don't blame you.
There's a lot of miles that have been put on that car since he's been driving it.
You don't have to let him use it. That's your problem.
A lot of miles have been put on that car. But I'm using his car while I'm here.
You're not
so
really
it's like
using it nearly that much.
I'm not, and it's also not really his car. Like, it's your car that he uses.
No, it's his car.
He didn't buy it. Like, this one I pay monthly.
I get it, but it's his car.
Yeah.
It's his car.
And I'm putting wear and tear and whatever.
Not a lot.
No.
So what do we got going tonight?
So I think I should show you this. We'll do it live video. It's a classic internet thing. It's just very funny. So I'll show you. So you know who Bill O'Reilly is.
Yes.
Old school Fox commentator. He's done now.
How long is the video?
Like a minute.
Okay.
So now this is a very famous video, but what it was is they were doing
what it is what it was.
They were doing tapings for like coming up after the break, so-and-so. So he was reading the teleprompter and something was going on. Like the teleprompter wasn't working, whatever. And so he was getting really frustrated. And you should just watch it. It's really funny.
That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but... Now, I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4,
look how pissed he's getting.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
Wow.
No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Oh my!
Fucking thing sucks.
God.
5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
That's funny. Which was actually better when he did it live, but look at him.
And look, yeah. Now he's flipping out, throwing his jacket off.
Wow. That's fucking hysterical. That was years ago.
Years ago, and it's just become a meme. Like, fuck it, we'll do it live, and then fucking thing sucks is a big, people say that a lot.
It's hysterical.
Yeah.
So what's on the topic tonight, Bronson?
Well, so I had so many great researched, interesting things to talk about last week about all the stuff that happened at the Capitol. That was really, big news. And we were filming our last episode 2 days after that happened, or 3 days after that happened. So it was like very fresh. So I had all that stuff prepared.
Right.
I wanted to talk about Trump being banned from Twitter and Facebook. I had all this stuff. And then we didn't get to any of it because we were arguing about we were arguing about free anarchy. So we didn't get to any of my stuff. And I don't know if it's too late to get to that.
Why is it too late?
It's a little out of the zeitgeist.
It's a week ago?
Yeah, we can have.
You have any new topics then?
I do.
Let's talk about your topic list and we'll go from there. Ronnie.
Okay, my first thing that I actually have written down is just, all it says is Victoria on The Bachelor.
Victoria on
The Bachelor. The queen, the girl you hate.
Oh, she's a
we watched The Bachelor
moron.
in our family.
Fat fucking nasty. Ugh, disgusting.
We were watching last week and you were like, you were like, I want to start a Twitter just so I can trash this girl.
Bully her. I never wanted, but Bronson, am I wrong?
She's terrible.
Am I wrong?
But also, like, it's all fake. It's all
I know,
for
but
the show.
but really, I don't really, but I want to bully her. She's annoying. Just listen, if you don't watch The Bachelor, it's been a tradition of the Bloom household on Monday nights when The Bachelor comes on. We did not watch The Bachelorette, though. We did not.
The Bachelorette is objectively not as good. And
why is
some people will be like, well, that's sexist because it's a girl as the main character.
No, but that's exactly why. You know what? Listen, you want how many? What are it? 25 Bachelor women,
like contestants? Yeah, around.
You rather have 25 fucking women who are all crazy fucking wackadoos going at it than you have 25 guys. You know what they can become buddies, high five, they're bros. They don't even care about the chick at that point.
No, honestly,
guys are easier.
That there is truth in that. I feel like the guys do. There's not much drama between guys. That's just usually when you watch The Bachelorette and there's like two guys that aren't getting along and that's it. And the rest of the guys are like, dude, shut the fuck up.
One's a shill. You know that they plant them.
Yeah, probably.
Guys aren't fucking crying. The women are crying. The cat fighting. By the way,
it's just women make for better reality television than men. That's just a fact. Women are more interesting to watch for drama than men are for drama. Drama is so boring.
And the women watching The Bachelor want to see The Bachelor, and the guys watching The Bachelor want to see the chicks. Right.
So when we watch The Bachelor, we have around 20 attractive women that we can watch every week. Plus we have the drama of everything that's going on. When we're watching The Bachelorette, we have one attractive person that we can watch. Sometimes not even that attractive.
I know, boring. And then you see the guys, and we don't care about looking at the guy.
But a lot of guys, the fact that me and you are talking and we're like, yeah, we watch The Bachelor all the time. A lot of people would be like, that's weird.
Well, it's just become more of a family tradition. That's what it is.
I mean, we like watching it.
Yeah, as a family.
Bachelor in Paradise is the best one.
Yes, it's a train wreck.
Yeah.
Train wreck.
We also started watching Love Island. That's a new I've been watching Love Island for years.
Yeah, but I started watching it because of spend time with you.
Oh, please. It would turn. So I would finish work in Florida because I was on LA time at 10 p.m. around every night. And then we'd watch Love Island. And with Love Island, there's an episode on every day of the week. So Monday through Friday, you're getting a new episode, which is half the reason why it's so good. And around 9:30, 10, Dad would always be like, Bronson, we got to watch Love Island. Come on. You'd have it queued up on the TV so that when I clocked out of work, I'd come down. You were very into it. But it's a good show.
It's fun.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Get caught up. That's you're so funny. Guilty pleasure.
Like I work in the film industry. I love movies and good TV shows and quality and that stuff. So it's odd that I like those reality shows, but something about them, it's just good content. It's really
it's mindless shit. It's mindless shit, and there's nothing wrong with it.
And it's also a social thing. Like if you watch The Bachelor alone, you feel like a loser, or at least I do. Like I would never watch an episode of The Bachelor alone. I have to watch with people, otherwise it's boring. Like it's not fun.
Sort of like the guy who has the cum box watches Bachelor alone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do we got?
I've taught you so many internet culture things.
Yeah, so many things.
Even the We'll Do It Live is a big internet.
I actually
culture
have seen that before.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
Many years ago.
It's popular.
Yeah, and that was when Bill O'Reilly was very young, but a fucking arrogant, nasty fuck. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I think he always was.
Yeah, he's got a very interesting personality.
So I went to school at BU. For those who don't know, you obviously know, Dad, because you paid for it.
I paid for it.
Although I saved you a year of tuition.
Yeah, so no matter what, you still cost me.
Yeah, but you gave birth to me, so.
And here we go.
So the newspaper at BU was called the Daily Free Press.
Free word, the key in there.
Yeah, which it is free. And it was when I was at BU, it was really struggling. Like they weren't making money. It was just people weren't reading it. So they were struggling. They were about to go under. It's been around for 40, 50 years, that thing. So it was a big deal. And Bill O'Reilly went to BU, and he was a journalism major, and he wrote for that newspaper. So the student, like the head of the newspaper at the time when I was there, were doing a big campaign. They were trying to reach out to all these alumni to try to get donations to keep it afloat. And Bill O'Reilly gave like $10 million to keep it afloat.
Wow.
But it was like touchy because it's so liberal and he's so not, that like people didn't want to accept his,
which is pretty fucked up in itself. Like, but isn't that what, shouldn't media be, whether liberal or not, everyone have their opinion? So
of course it should be. It's not that. But it was just so funny. Up. Like, I thought that was such a funny thing that all these like liberal journalists, college students were struggling, literally asking people for money, and then didn't want to take his money because he's on Fox
But they
News.
took it.
They took it.
Of course, and they should take it.
I wonder how much amount of money. Bill O'Reilly, Daily Free Press. I wonder if there's anything. Also, we $10,000. Still, this is in Business Insider.
All right, 10 grand.
Yeah. BU. We also have a radio station. Oh, I forget what it's called. I had a show on the radio station. Funny enough, the precursor to this show actually, because it was my first radio show ever, and now this is my second radio show.
Okay. Okay.
That radio station was failing as well when I was there.
It's the Howard Stern thing.
Yeah, and so Howard Stern was a alumni of BU and the radio station specifically, and he offered to give like a lot of money.
$5 million or something.
Yeah, he was like, I'll save the whole journalism school, not just the radio station. He was like, I want it to be named the Howard School or Howard Stern College of Communication, and I want a statue of myself put out front of the building. And he was like,
which I'm fine.
He was like, I'll give you millions of dollars, and BU said no, and the radio station struggled. Actually, burned down the radio station.
I remember that after you graduated.
No, while I was there.
Really?
It burned down while I was there.
Maybe somebody burned
and my
it down.
ex-girlfriend was in the station at the time that it burned down.
Did they investigate her?
Maybe. I don't know if they did.
Teasing you. All right, so what do we got?
I forgot that it burned down.
I remember, yeah.
Should we talk about the Capitol stuff? I'm so over it. And that might be like ignorant or privileged of me to say like that I'm over that because it's a big deal. But it's just like, oh my God, we're inundated with stuff.
But here's the problem, Bronson. So for example, they're literally now giving like these police officers Purple Hearts for what they went through with the Capitol and everything else. But when there were the riots in the streets and the riots in the in all these cities and where they physically were destroying buildings and businesses, and they took over the police station, took over the courthouse, I think in Seattle, Washington or whatever. No issue with that. They did nothing. And by that way, the police did nothing at that point. And now Pelosi, I understand, wants to go after people.
The police did nothing in any of these situations. We watched looters. We were literally watching live stream of riots and looting happen over the summer, and you would literally see on the TV people breaking windows, and the police just stand there like with their hands in their hips. Right. Literally, we saw with our own eyes. Yeah, and then at the Capitol thing, they opened gates and let people in. So it's like the police did nothing, but now that it fits the narrative of the left, the police are the heroes.
And we talked further about how, like we think it was the Democrats that did this whole fucking thing. Because, Bronson, remember the photo in Pelosi's office? Her computer was left on. Okay, so the professional fucking photo. I mean,
there's a lot of sketchy.
1 minute. And the fucking and not the Republicans, because Republicans and Democrats, I do agree, they're the fucking same. It's all a game. But we fell right into the trap of what they're doing.
Not we. Don't say we. You don't associate with those people who stormed the Capitol.
No, but I'm talking about our view on what the problem is with the government. That's what I'm talking about.
I do think, I don't know if it was planned, who planned it, if it was planned by anyone, or if it just happened naturally. But I do think that Congress saw it happening and welcomed it with open arms. Because look at all the stuff that they've been able to enact post the insurgents, riot, storming of the Capitol, whatever you want to call it. It's been like boom, boom, boom. They're getting things done, Congress. So many things are falling into place now. So it's like, I don't know. I by the way, people saw it as an opportunity.
Yes, but I'm completely okay with overthrowing the fucking government.
Here's where I stand on it. I am 100% in support of people wanting to make their voice heard to the government, and if they don't agree with what the government's doing, over trying to change it. That's how this country was founded. Literally, we were founded on an insurgence because we didn't like what our government was doing, the British Empire. Doing it in the way that it occurred on Wednesday is not the way to do it, because look at all the negative consequences that have come from it. Like
it's negative.
Literally the opposite of they helped. Like there was a lot of alt-right conservatives. They're helping the Democrats by doing what they did on Wednesday.
But they did it. It helped them anti-Trump. Let's not call Democrat Republican. It's all help against anti-Trump.
Well, there isn't even really Republicans anymore.
Correct. But the people that voted for Biden were not necessarily voting for Biden. It was voting for anti-Trump.
Right. That's not what I'm talking about.
But that's what I'm talking about. So this was a whole witch hunt against anti-Trump.
Against Trump. Against Trump. Anti-Trump means pro-Trump.
Okay. Against Trump. Means against, period. Right. Anti-Trump, period.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like,
I'm okay with what happened.
You don't like they stormed the Capitol to try to stop the democratic process of the Electoral College voting. That's like what happened. That's not okay. I think it's okay because that's stopping the democracy in this country from happening. So that's like authoritarian, not democratic.
Yeah, but okay, I hear you, but I fucking look at it, Pelosi and these fucking losers and these evil people. What about
Pence?
He's fucking weak. Pence is weak.
Why?
Why is he weak?
Why
he's weak?
Why? Tell me. Because Trump was telling him to break the law, and he said, "No, I'm not going to do it."
What's the law? Is that
he said overturn the results of the election? Just do it.
No, Pence. I think
he told him that
is weak. That's my feeling.
Why? Because he realized that Trump is a sinking ship and jumped.
You support? Where's the
why?
loyalty?
Why do you support? Why do you need to have loyalty to someone who might go to jail and
he's not going to jail? Give me a fucking break.
Wait,
Bronson.
So why should
they
Pence?
Tried for years.
Pence had 3.5 years of loyalty. Why does he need to?
Did he
to die out with him?
I don't know, but why not?
I mean, you liked him until he turned on Trump. So
correct. I liked a lot of them until they all turned on Trump.
Right? Why?
Because they're all full of shit.
Or Trump is the problem, and they're all
really. Do you really think Trump's the problem?
So you think that Trump is the savior and everyone is jumping ship because they're the weak ones and he's the one who knows?
Okay. It's not that he's the savior, but the problem is fucking politician, Democrat and Republican are nothing but fucking liars and full of shit. Let me finish. Okay, you were about to interrupt me, so let me finish. They're full of shit fucking politicians that are all on the take, all of millions of fucking dollars with government salaries, and they're all on the take and being bribed by foreign countries that own their fucking ass. And it's this boys network and boys club all about power and narcissism behavior to control the fucking people that's controlled by the government, big business, and foreign country. And the fact is that Trump's not a fucking player by the rules. Trump is not a fucking politician.
Why is he not a player by the rules?
Listen, because it's all bullshit. He wants to do what's best for. Listen, he wants to do what's best for America, best for our country, not what's best for the.
Why? How do you know he wants to do that?
That's my opinion.
Okay.
By the way, I can only give my opinion. You don't have any more facts than I do. It's an opinion in our conversation.
I do have more facts than you do.
No, you don't. Your facts are what? From the fucking looking up on the computer and the internet? Those are your facts?
My facts are facts, yes.
No, they're not. Your facts are skewed because they.
So I have information, but it's not facts. You have thoughts, and so that's more powerful.
No,
information is more powerful than ideas.
No, Bronson. I get my info. Whether I watch.
Where do you get your information
from? Listen. Whether I watch the news or some things on social media,
source that you watch.
But
but you admit that I have more information on current events than you do. You have to admit that.
Okay, you read more, but all it is, but the shit you fucking read, that all of us are that we read is nothing but propaganda, depending on which avenue you go to choose.
So there's no such thing as truth anymore.
I don't. That's correct. I don't believe anything as
objective. So then why do you believe in Trump?
Let me finish. I don't know, because I don't believe in this objective media. I believe Trump, who's a fucking businessman, doesn't have to have people in his pocket, wanted what's best for America because he likes America and wants the best for the future of his children, his grandchildren, and he's not a professional politician that's on the fucking take by everybody, that if they lose their jobs, if you find out the fucking fraud of Biden, Pelosi, Schumer, all these fucking people, and they're now ousted and they become fucking unemployed, they go nowhere because they're fucking losers. They're old hag people that literally want to all be, and every one of these politicians, Democrat or Republican, are so full of shit, and they're afraid of being fucking caught. What's going on? So what do? They gotta stick together so they can't fucking get caught, because otherwise the fucking house of cards falls down.
Or they disagree with some. So let's say Biden 2 years into his presidency, let's say Bernie Sanders comes out and it's like, I do not agree with what the president's doing. I'm against all these policies. He's ruining this country. I don't stand with the Democratic Party. Would you be like, how disloyal of him? Or you'd be like, wow, he's a patriot. He's standing up for what he believes in.
He's disloyal.
So then what's the difference between why is Pence disloyal for now being like, I'm distancing myself from the president?
Because he knows.
What's the difference?
Because the reason why Pence is a fucking pussy and says, because I'm a professional politician, I want to make sure I'm protected. That's all he's doing.
In your opinion.
By the way, everything you discuss is your opinion.
Not when I discuss facts.
No, you discuss your opinion based on what you read. I discuss my opinions based on me having conversations with other people, based on what I read, based on what I see, and based on what I hear.
But there's also, not everything is an opinion.
Okay, Bronson, the news...
Me saying to you, the sky is blue is not an opinion, that's a fact.
Yes,
right, so some things
that's a stupid analogy, though.
No, but I'm saying, I'm trying to simplify it because some things I say are facts. They're not my opinions, they're just facts.
Give me an example of a fact that you fucking looked up on the internet or watched on the news.
Like pertaining to this?
Yeah, give me a fact about what you know. Don't look it up right now.
No, I have.
Tell me the fact.
Video and pictures are facts, right? You can't.
Are they really? You never heard about pics being doctored? You're not the one that told me.
The ones that I have.
You were the. How do you know? You were the one that told me that person sitting at Pelosi's desk, you think it was professionally done and it was a setup.
I think it was suspicious.
Okay, so how do you know as you sit here today?
But you believe that when I showed you that picture, you were like, yeah, that's suspicious.
Yeah, but based on an opinion.
Right, yeah.
So how can you tell me that a picture is a fact? Because your eyes see it? Then that means
yes, there are certain things, yes.
Magic is true.
Why? What magic have you seen with your eyes?
Magic seen in your eyes. Person disappears. That person really disappears.
It's an illusion.
Okay, it's not true though.
So you can't even believe your own eyes now. What can you believe then?
That's my point.
So I'm asking you, what can you believe then?
Okay,
Jonathan Bloom, what can you believe in 2021?
You know what you do? You hear all the facts.
What are facts then?
You hear all the different sides.
Okay.
Because news is nothing more than propaganda and editorial.
Right, but that's why on Wednesday then, like when the Capitol riots were happening, Bryce and I were sitting outside watching YouTube live streams, no commentary, just literally video of people who were there. 10 different camera angles. There was one, just 10 different people, some inside. No talking. It was just video of exactly what was happening, and I could watch with my own eyes and see it, and it was live.
Okay, but
how is that? Okay, how are there?
No one contests the fact that people went in and tried to overtake the Capitol. That's a fact.
Yes,
but everything else, whether it's Trump doing,
correct. Then those are all.
That's bullshit. That's my point.
Well, there's factual. Trump has said words.
Okay,
there are words that Trump said, and those aren't fake. He said them.
Bronson, you're in the film industry.
Yes.
Okay. Watching the things.
Okay, so now we're going to get conspiratorial.
No, listen.
If you're thinking that they're doctoring Trump's words.
Bronson, let me give a perfect example. Okay. Our old community, when that person was murdered in our community, the wife. You remember Boniello? Okay. And I was the president of the association. I didn't know the fucking people. And when they were waiting to interview me as the president, all the news, it was local news. The woman was murdered right outside of Home Depot. And I was in and they interviewed me. And I said, I don't know the people. I'm the president of the community. I don't know the people. 5 o'clock at news. Guess what they put? Videotape. You know what they put? The header was Jonathan Bloom, personal friend of Gurenberg. Okay. A client of mine, fucking loser client, many, many years ago. I represented him foreclosure. I took all his fucking furniture. He couldn't pay me. Loser client. He was on CNBC and MSNBC as a financial advisor. Didn't even have a license for financial advisor, nothing more than a real estate broker. And he was giving advice on credible news nationwide.
No, the news is bullshit. I agree with you on that.
So therefore, can people take words and skew them? What sells and sexy?
Skew them, yeah.
100%. So because
I'm in agreement with you. I'm on the same side.
But you just said Trump, what you think what Trump says isn't true and accurate based on what the news? No.
Watch. There's a difference between watching. Here's the difference. There's a difference between first-hand accounts and retellings of something. So there's a difference between,
it's called hearsay.
There's a difference between Tucker Carlson sitting there and telling you what happened and you watching Trump's speech. Those are different, right? One is factual, one's commentary.
Correct.
That's all I'm saying. There are certain things that are just factual. Obviously, of course, there's technology where it could be a hologram. It could be a deep fake.
Let me tell you where I'm disappointed. Let me tell you where I'm disappointed in the whole fucking thing. You know what happened? You know what I'm disappointed in? Fucking Pelosi wasn't shot and fucking taken off this earth. Okay, and I'm disappointed they didn't fucking do the right thing. If they're gonna go in that hard, I don't agree in violence, but she's fucking evil and the fucking devil.
Why is she the devil?
Listen, Bronson.
Why?
Listen, I'm not gonna go into that whole fucking thing.
What? But
because we've had these conversations.
We've actually never had detailed conversations about Pelosi.
Listen, the reality is that she should be off this fucking earth. There should be, I think, if they're going to do the takeover, it should be taken over. And I don't believe in violence, but it's funny how they can be violence for 3 fucking weeks. People fucking, you sit in a restaurant and you can have the people, BLM, go into the fucking restaurant, start uplifting the tables, beating you up, beating up cops, doing stuff, destroying all these businesses in LA. And look, you know what happened in LA, in New York, and everything's boarded up, and all these businesses, and how fucking de Blasio destroyed all the restaurants, been around for hundreds of years. All these the Russian tea room, fucking, I think, is out of business. It's a fucking icon.
It's a tragedy.
It's an icon. Okay, all purposeful. All that stuff is okay. No one talks about it, and this whole fucking COVID bullshit thing where they go ahead and start saying, and everything's COVID, and then one thing happens, and the world, oh my God, it's terrible. I'm happy people are starting to fucking stand up. I'm happy about it.
You don't, so you just said you're against all the like Black Lives Matter protests and riots that were happening over the summer, right? The violence in the streets, the overthrowing government buildings, the burning down of things, right? The violence against cops. You say you're against those things. So how are you going to, if you're trying to do a revolution, which is what they were doing, because plenty of them even said this is a revolution.
Yep.
If you're going to revolt, the goal is to put something better in place than what you're revolting against.
Okay.
Why else revolt against something if you don't want to make it better? If you're trying to make the situation better from the rioting and the violence against cops and the burning and desecration of government property, right? If you're trying to revolt against that, doing those things is not the way to achieve the revolution. If you're trying to revolt because you don't like Black Lives Matter hitting cops and disrespecting them and setting fire to government buildings, you don't set fire to government buildings, hit cops, and be disrespectful to them. If you're trying to revolt to make things better, you do it in a better way. What they did on Wednesday was exactly the same shit that we saw all over the summer. That's why I'm against it, because if you're trying to build better, you don't do it with the same tactics that you're against.
Okay, I hear you, and in theory,
they literally killed a cop.
Listen. Well, I don't believe in that, but hear me out. I hear you.
It's a horrible video of them.
Listen. I hear you, and it saddens me to hear that I don't believe in the violence aspect. I really don't. I'm telling you right now, the whole thing it's crazy.
You do believe in the violence. You said they should have shot Nancy Pelosi.
Okay. I don't believe in violence, but I don't think
that's violence.
Okay, no, I think it's a mitzvah. She's certainly
shooting someone in the head is violence. Objectively,
listen to me for a minute, Bronson. She shouldn't be breathing in any of our oxygen. She's a problem. She's fucking poison. She's worse than the fucking coronavirus. But let me go back for a second.
She's a problem, but there's a way to remove problems in the government.
No, here's the problem. No, this is where you're missing the point.
If she's not in Congress, she can't do anything.
Let me explain to you where you're missing the point. Okay, if you are being bullied in high school or college or middle school, whatever, and you keep being bullied, and I say, use your words. Try to befriend the person, talk to the principal. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Nobody's supporting you. There's no change. At some point, punch the motherfucker in the face, beat the shit out of him, watch him choke in his own fucking blood, and you know what? He'll never bully you again.
I'm glad you said that, because that's the exact argument for why a lot of Black Lives Matter supporters said the looting is inevitable, because they said for 70 years.
God, let me finish.
But that's exactly that. For 70 years, 100 years, they said, we've tried everything. They said, we've gone through the government, we've tried everything, and still we're being mistreated by the cops. So what else can we do?
But the problem is...
That's exactly your point.
No, it's not.
You just said at a certain point, you have to punch them in the face.
The difference is, Bronson, no, the Black Lives Matter movement, there's no being different treated with regards to the cops. There's more black killings against black people.
But Dad, to them, there is.
By the way...
They think that.
Okay, Bronson, the BLM shit is all social media driven. That's all it is. It's news and social media driven. That's all it is. It's like 3%ers. So what happens is, because hear me out. It's it's become, because the power of social media and the news, these 3%, which is the fucking minority, is becoming the majority. That's the problem.
What do you mean? What's 3%ers?
It means such a small percentage of our fucking world, but the minorities become such the majority.
Who's the 3%? I don't understand what the
country.
Who is the I don't understand what you're saying.
The BLM movement is such a small percentage of our
Black Lives Matter supporters are 3% of Americans. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
It's definitely not.
You think it's more?
Oh, it's. I would argue it's at least a third of the country.
Oh, I do.
Is in support of Black Lives Matter.
I think no. I'm talking about the heavy movement. What's going on?
I'm talking about.
I think.
Who do we define as? Are we talking about people who marched? That's a good way to show. If you marched in any of the protests this summer, you're a Black Lives Matter supporter. I would argue, right?
I think it's probably more than 5%
of the country.
Yep.
Black people make up 13%. You think?
By the way, you know how many
majority of black people.
You know how many black people are against it?
A lot.
And by the way, if you want to go back to the BLM thing, and it's nothing to do, I'm not saying I'm racial, because that's not what this is. Not that I'm prejudiced. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about, from my opinion, what I see. The reality is this: we have a government, okay, that no matter what, whether you're Democrat or Republican, we have such a corrupt government that I am happy with the fucking people take back. I think we're being bullied. Our rights are being taken away, and I will fucking stand up and not allow that to happen.
And that's what Black Lives Matter is doing this summer.
The difference is the
What's the difference?
The difference, Bronson, Black Lives Matter was made up and developed by the fucking Democrats, which doesn't benefit any African Americans.
Show me the facts for that.
Bronson, there's no.
Show me the facts for that.
Bronson, name $1.
Facts can be doctored.
By the way,
according to you.
the facts are in the computer. Find me one thing that shows that any money that went to BLM went to African Americans.
There's no such thing as facts. They're all doctored. That's your logic from 20 minutes ago.
And your logic on the facts. Show me. You're talking about the facts. You look it up. You're so knowledgeable. Why don't you show me? You'll see that.
But it's not. But anything I bring up, you just say no. You can dismiss it because you said 10 minutes ago there's no such thing as facts anymore.
Go online.
Anything on the internet is.
Go online to the BLM movement. Okay, their website. And you'll see that not $1 went to goes to it.
So you've gone onto the BLM website?
Bronson, I have.
And
a while ago, yep.
And you saw that note.
I don't know if it's that site. I don't know if it's that site.
So you went to the BLM site and they tell you that their money doesn't go to black people?
No, Bronson.
They tell you their money goes to the Democratic Party?
Bronson.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Has any of the money gone to any schools?
Did they ever say the money's going to go to schools?
Has it gone to any inner cities with regards to
I don't know. African Americans?
Do you? I'm asking you.
I don't know.
I'm asking you as another one.
I'm telling you, I don't know. I don't know that information.
You research it, and next week I'm
curious to know. But you seem like you know. You said I know. So I'm telling you, I don't know. I don't have that information, but you seem like you do. So enlighten me. No, where'd you get that information from?
I have my sources.
Who? Uncle Brant?
Nope. I have my sources.
Okay. But you see that there's like hypocrisy in your logic. You're picking and choosing to believe in things when they help you and to not believe in them when they don't. You don't want to believe in facts when it's against Trump, but you do want to believe in facts when it's against BLM.
Okay, so let me ask
you a question. Do you admit that that's what you just did? Because that's what you just did.
Let me ask you a question.
You'll listen back to it tomorrow and you'll hear that.
Why do the cops do nothing when
you're ignoring my question.
Wait, why do the cops do nothing when you have all the Democratic movements and the BLM movement? And what happens is,
why'd they do nothing when they stormed the Capitol?
Oh, they didn't do anything.
They did nothing. I'll show you videos of them letting them in.
Listen, didn't a cop shoot a person? Didn't a woman die?
Yeah, haven't people died in the Black Lives Matter? That's why the Black Lives Matter protests started, was because people were dying.
Because, Bronson, it started because that one guy with the knee.
37 people died. That's a fact. 37 people died over the summer for the Black Lives Matter riots.
Bronson, let me ask a question. Do they show any footage with regards to any African American police officers killing any African Americans? Do they show any? They don't. Do they? Because you haven't seen any. Have you seen any footage wait, I have a question. Have you seen any footage where there are white people killed by the police? Have you seen any of that stuff?
Of course.
It's a yes or no. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay.
Right, but
it's not newsworthy, right?
Right. I agree with you that there's agendas in the news. Of course, I'm on the same side as you are on that. It's a fact that there are agendas in the news today, and news isn't objective. I agree with that. But also, my original point, which you ignored, I said, you pick and choose logic when it benefits you, and you ignore it when it doesn't. And then you even just went on to do it because you said, the cops stood around and did nothing during the Black Lives Matter riots. And I said, and the cops stood around and did nothing during the Capitol riot. It was the same.
Oh, I don't think the cops really did nothing.
we watched videos of them, we argued, and we were like, oh my God, I can't believe the cops will just let them in. They literally welcomed them in.
Because I think that was all set up by the Democrats.
So you're admitting the cops did nothing.
Because I think they were some Democrats.
You don't even listen to your own self.
I do listen to myself.
So you admit that the cops did nothing at the Capitol riots.
I think because it was a ploy.
It's a yes or no.
I think it was a ploy.
So you think the cops did nothing at the Capitol riots?
Bronson.
Like you said, it's a yes or no. I'm saying yes or no.
First of all, they shot a woman. So they obviously did something. They murdered a woman. And I get it. Listen, by all means, I think they should. I think the police should have done more.
The police should have murdered more people.
I agree with that.
Murder is a weird word.
No,
the police should have killed more people.
I agree with that.
Because these people were fully breaking the law.
I agree with that completely.
So the cops were ineffective.
Well, I think that they were told.
The fact that like a small group of like middle Americans can break into the most important building in the country in 20 minutes is on the most important day when all of the government is there except the president, the vice president, the speaker of the house, all the cabinet members are all there, all the senators. And like 10,000 people were able to just break into it in like 10 minutes. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. What's that say?
Right. So I'm saying the cops were ineffective.
Our government's a joke.
That's what I'm saying. The cops are ineffective on that day.
We need to get rid of all politicians. Full-time fucking politicians like
this
Biden.
Is what we got in a huge argument on last week. This is what I was saying. We don't need any of the politicians.
47 years.
You were saying, I can't believe you even think that. And now you're saying
that's not true what happened last week.
I said we need to overhaul the full federal government. End it. Do a new thing.
And it's different than...
We literally had... The name of the episode is called We've Had a Good Run.
Bronson, ending it, I don't agree with ending it. I think the fact is we need to... These politicians... Perfect example. 47 fucking years Biden's in there. He has done nothing. His fucking son's a loser. They took the money from fucking China. 47 years. There's not... I don't care if you voted for him or not. If you voted for fucking Biden, tell me one thing he did in 47 years. No one could tell you because he did shit.
Right. That's why I'm saying we need to get rid of all of it.
It's a fucking joke. By the way,
don't you think if we get...
Tell me what Pelosi does. Educate me, because I'm ignorant. Tell me what fucking Pelosi, with her fucking ugly...
She does nothing.
Fucking face.
Her being ugly, has no purpose to it at all.
Fucking nasty
Trump's the ugliest guy in the world.
She's a nasty human being. She's done nothing. Tell me.
What was I going to say?
What does she do? No, Bronson, I want to know. Tell me what she does.
I was in the middle of a thought, and I don't remember.
Okay, so I broke your thought. I'm sorry. What does Pelosi do?
I don't care about... I don't want to talk about Pelosi. She's so boring. I do.
I'm asking you...
I don't know, Dad. I don't know.
Fair enough. That's a fair enough answer.
I admit to when I don't know things. I don't spew out information if I don't know about it. You said... So I was saying we should end it, and you were like, no, don't end it. But then you also said do end it. So I don't even really know where you stand on that. But don't you think all these career politicians, can
I be ambivalent?
But let's say we get rid of all of the politicians and put in new ones. Don't you think the same shit will happen again?
Maybe.
People are weak to power. You're
right.
People get you. There's no system that you could put in place that would be immune to people's egos, to people's power hungriness, to all that in a government. If people are ruling other people, which is what government is, objectively, there's nothing that you could like. People inevitably will be corrupted. That's just life. It's never not been that way.
I agree with you.
So we can't do it. It's not. If you want a clean, corruptlessness, free of ego, free of power trips, free of any of that, you can't have the government. You have to just let people govern themselves.
Bronson take the police.
Getting back into this.
Take the police. Why not? Take the police department. They have the internal affairs, separate department that look into the corruption.
Right, but
why not have something like that for the government?
Because we do, and it never works. Do you think internal affairs, if there's something really bad, you think that the cops are just going to expose the own thing that's bad in the cops? That's to placate us. It's all optics. You think there's anything that we can impose on the government that they will? So like, in the latest COVID stimulus bill, they passed a thing that said that Congress had to tell the Pentagon that they have 180 days to disclose all of their UFO information and files.
Really? Why?
No one knows. That was just snuck in there. I have other thoughts, which we'll get into on it. Who's going to enforce that? So let's say in day 181, the Pentagon doesn't do anything. What's Congress going to...
You're right.
Right? And then let's say they do. So they say, they're going to say, here's all our files. How do we know that's all their files?
Right, they're not going to give it.
Right, there's no way to govern the government. Like, that's just not going to work.
All right, let's move. Listen, it's scary.
So, like, internal affairs, like, or it's like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a problem in your law firm and you hire someone within your law firm to fix the problem, and then they tell you the problem and they're like, I'm going to bring it to the public, you silence them. You're not going to self-sabotage your own thing. So why would the cops self-sabotage their own?
I don't know what the answer is. It's very discouraging.
Humans are very prone to corruption. That's just how it works.
And yeah, it's sad.
And even people who think that they aren't, like, I would like to think that I have high morals and a strong backbone and stuff. I'm sure I would be corrupted too. It's just human nature. It's literally human nature. So that's why last week I said, just fucking get rid of all of it.
I don't know what the answer is, and being a control freak, that's the part that scares the shit out of me.
There isn't an answer, and that's why for thousands of years, human civilizations have tried different things. We've tried to have kings, we've tried to have democracies, we've tried to have authoritarian dictators. None of them have worked well. America, we thought that was the best way to do it. It's not working well right now.
No, it's working like
this
shit.
country's in the shitter right now.
Yeah.
Right, so...
Let's talk about the UFO thing. Well, let's talk about that. Let's switch gears, because it's so discourering to me. I'm so angry.
I have thoughts on this UFO thing.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
We've had 12 episodes. We've talked about, there have been news about aliens in like four or five out of the 12 episodes, right? It's like, it's a prevalent thing now. Right? Remember we talked about the Israeli guy. Yep. NBC News is running articles on aliens. The Pentagon, the CIA is releasing videos. Like, there's so much in the year 2020 that has come out about aliens. More than any other time. From official things. Like, it's not like conspiracy anymore. They literally talk about it on the news.
Right.
I think there's a possibility that this is all purposeful to slowly trickle out information to us as a people. And now there's two outcomes. There's either the outcome that aliens do exist or they don't. I think it's the more likely one is they don't exist and they're going to play it off like they do.
Why?
To unite us.
Who's they?
The powers at be.
Why do they want to unite us?
Because they need us to be united, to be complacent, or even to unite like the world as a whole. To make like a global, like the globalists, right? Like
yeah, that's. Will they have less power?
No, they'll have more power. We'll all be humbled and we'll all be like, you know what, we need to work together even more. We need, oh my God, there's a galactic federation of things. We need to create a federation of countries, and then the United Nations becomes the most powerful thing in the world. It's a possibility. Who knows if it's true.
That's a very interesting concept very interesting. So
they've been releasing so much information about it this year. Every other week we have new trickles of information.
So you think that
I think they're slowly giving it out so that we're talking about it like this right now. So that normal Americans are being like, oh my God, the CIA is talking about aliens. What if instead of just a spaceship shows up in the sky one day, society would crumble because people would freak out. People wouldn't go to work. It would be hell. But now we're all slowly starting getting used to it. We're slowly being warmed up to it. It's like they say, if you put a frog in a pot of water and then you turn the boiler on, as the water temperature rises, the frog gets so used to it, right? Have you heard this analogy? It's like a thing for being complacent or
adapting.
Right. So like if you drop a frog in boiling water, it's going to jump out because it's super hot and it's going to...
Right, gradual. It's the gradual
but if you put a frog in a pot of water that's cold and you turn the heater on and it slowly comes up to a boil, the frog is going to boil alive and it doesn't know because it's getting used to it. That could be what's happening. The temperature's slowly starting to rise and we're talking about it and we're all getting used to it. And then when they drop the big announcement and they say, yep, aliens are real, we know about it, we have all the information, here it is, we've disclosed it all, we're like, you know what, yeah, okay, I see it, I understand.
But they would have to prove, if they're going to try to say there's aliens and show it, they'd have to prove it.
Right, well they would, but would they have to I mean, they could do
you think they could doctor shit up?
I mean, what proof would be substantial enough for you?
To see it.
Like to see what? To speak to one or to just see a picture?
Or see it.
Right, but I'm sure...
Maybe in the news or see footage.
Have you ever watched any movie that has aliens? You can see it there. Right?
Yeah, but I think...
Have you watched like Prometheus or like... What are movies where humans speak? Star Wars, or like you literally watch Mandalorian. We watch Mandalorian, and it's like you watch and you're like, wow, those are aliens. I know, but why couldn't they do that?
Well, I think that'd be a crazy hoax.
People believe the moon landing, the original moon landing, was fake. People live crazy things. I'm not saying if I believe that. What about the water? That's a possibility.
Remember, you said they were in the water. Did we discuss that, or you just told me personally?
I told you personally on Reddit. Tell the people on the Reddit conspiracy board. It was a big post that went viral last week about a guy saying that he works for NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. No, that NASA's NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Okay, I was right. He said he works for NOAA and that they're aware of a full underwater civilization of humanoid creatures that have been living underwater for longer than we've been around humans, and that they have a whole civilization, and we've talked with them. We're aware of them. Governments around the world are aware of them, and that information is going to be released in 2021. And he went into detail a lot of things, and I mean, who knows? You could just write anything and make it up, but that'd be interesting if we learned that instead of coming from the sky, the aliens came from below and they were here before us. But there are areas in the ocean that we can never get to. They say like 80% of the ocean is still unmapped.
Unbelievable. That's scary in itself.
Wait, I want to find the exact thing. How much of the ocean is unexplored? 80%. Yeah, 80% of the oceans remain unexplored. It's difficult to protect what we don't know. Only about 7% of the world's oceans are designated as marine protected areas. Crazy. Who knows?
Crazy.
I don't know. I like to think I'm very logical, and I don't. It's fun to believe in that stuff, but this year,
do you think they're aliens?
We've talked about this.
Remember that video we saw of the airline pilot?
I definitely. I mean, just statistically, there have to be aliens that exist. There has to be other life that exists.
Why
elsewhere.
Are we the only ones?
Do I think that they've come to Earth? I don't know. Who knows? There's no way to know that. But they're definitely there's no question that they exist elsewhere. They're probably just hundreds of millions of light years away. So it's it's a whole different thing. Or they've existed before and we're just the only ones existing now. That's the thing. There's called the Fermi paradox, which is it asks the question: if statistically aliens should be bountiful, right? Like,
what do you mean bountiful?
There are billions upon billions of galaxies with billions upon billions of stars and planets, and where we happen, and there are billions of them that are like Earth, habitable for life that we know. Statistically, we shouldn't be the only one. There should be millions of other species living. So if there are, why don't we see them? Why aren't we constantly inundated with them?
Well, but on the same
but the Fermi paradox has multiple answers to that. There are like 10 different reasons why. One of the reasons is we're truly the only ones. We're completely alone, which that's the scariest thought for sure. We're the only thing that exists. Another one is that we just happen to live in a time when everyone else has died out. So there are civilizations that came before us. We're the only one that's living now. Will die out and other things will come later. There's one this is one of the most widely accepted ones is the idea called the Great Filter, which says that there's a thing that happens in terms of a civilization and nothing can progress. So a civilization's growing, we started, right? We were living in caves. We then started learning how to farm. We then started building cities, and then we started having technology, and now we have nukes and we have all this stuff. There's a certain point that every civilization gets to, and it just doesn't survive past that. So they call it a filter, right? So they say that we've already probably gotten through many filters. We've survived as a species past multiple filters, but there's one that everyone hits. And so there might have been millions of other species that have lived for millions of years before us, all different aliens, and they all reach a certain point where they just die out. And so some people say that we're close to that point now. I mean, it feels like the world's falling apart.
Or what about the fact like Elon Musk, it took him all these millions of years on our Earth to finally get to, let's say, Mars, right? So maybe they're not there yet. these other planets, and they're there. They just can't reach us, and we can't reach them.
Right. That's another one, is that everything's just so far away that we just, like, we're very technically advanced, and there might be other things that are very technically advanced,
but it's too far.
It's just too far.
We can't get there.
Yeah. Or we'll just never, by the time we would get there, we would all have been died out. Like, it's just way too far that it just would never. That's
what
most
I'm
likely.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the universe is so large that without wormholes or like traveling through space time, you would never be able to get to the other side of it. And we're also so random. There's another thought that there are all these civilizations that are all existing together, and it's like a Star Wars type world. And that's like our Milky Way galaxy is very random in the universe. Like, if you look at a picture of the universe, or our understanding of it, and it's constantly expanding. But like, let's say the center of the universe is here. We're like random. We're like not important, very small galaxy compared. Like there are some, so we live in the Milky Way galaxy. There are some galaxies that are so much larger. We're like a small,
like the Snickers galaxy.
Yeah. We're small, random, insignificant nothing. So there might be all this insane action going on in the middle of the universe with millions of different species living and space traveling together like Star Wars, and they just haven't gotten to our corner yet.
Correct.
And so we just haven't seen them.
So, Bron, I want to talk to you about what's been going on, which is a big concern with whether you support Trump or not. The fact that how Twitter, Facebook, and all social media.
I don't want to end on this. We got like 5 minutes. You want to end it?
No.
It's been so serious and political.
But I think we need to talk about that in our next one. That's an important thing to talk about, don't you think?
It is important, but it is important. I'm just done with that.
Scary though. What did you do?
Very scary.
You got off Facebook.
I'm off all the social medias,
which is interesting for someone like you to be off social media.
I've never been on social medias, Dad.
Probably.
How big am I?
But
I have 3 posts on Instagram my whole life.
You won't order on Amazon anymore.
Well, that's not a government thing. That's a COVID thing. Honestly, I've realized through COVID that the big like I want to support local rather than corporations. So it's worth it to me. Like, I bought new hair gel last week because mine ran out. I use this company called Right. It's like a small independent, American business, and they make good products. I used to buy it on Amazon for like $12 for the can, and it would come to me in one day. Now I don't buy anything on Amazon, so I went to Right's website directly. I bought straight from them, so they're making my full profit. They're not giving to Amazon. It's like $20 instead of $13, and it took a week to get here. So it was not as convenient. It cost me a little more. But all my money went to a small American business, not Jeff Bezos. And I'm happy spending a little more.
I respect that.
And that's not a government thing. It's not like a conspiracy or a Trump thing. It's just through COVID, small American local business has been crushed by the giant corporations. And I'm just not okay with that. So I support with my dollar the small local American businesses rather than the corporations.
I do that in my law
I'll never shop at a Walmart.
In my law firm, we have to order certain lien searches and things like that. And there's a large company, it's a national company, and there's a local one right here. Like, we'll order our surveys and our lien searches. I want to order strictly from a local company right here in South Florida. I want to deal with them rather than a larger one that's national. Yeah. So I agree. I want to support the.
I think we just have to become hyper low. Like, through COVID, I hope that this starts to become more of a reality.
Basically, take care of our own.
We need to become more localized.
Yeah, take care of our own. I agree.
Just like live in your neighborhood, live in your community, support the community, work in the community, and that's how it's been for 1,000 years as humans. It's always like you live in your village, you help out the fellow villagers, and you all work together and do the thing, and you make your own community better. And then if everyone is doing that in America, this is kind of what we were talking about last week when I said every state should just do their own thing. Because then if you live in the state and you don't like what's going on and you can't help change it, then move to a state that you like what's going on. We don't need to all.
The problem is today, America's a fucking joke. People come from other places, other countries, and instead of assimilating to our country, we have to be politically correct and assimilate to their fucking views. And that's
like what? What other country views have
Meaning, I'm saying, like, Australia says you don't like it, get the fuck out. Basically, you have to assimilate to us.
But what are examples
America,
of like
everything?
Like what?
The whole minority thing. The whole fucking.
That's very American. That's what culture is a minority thing. There's no minority problems in Saudi Arabia and China.
The fact that when you go to college, you get an advantage because you're a minority. You check the box.
That's an American thing that's happening. We're spreading that to the world. Europe is having all these social justice issues, and they blame America for starting them and bringing them over
because it's a bad thing,
right? But I'm saying that's not a foreign thing. That's a thing we started.
That's
here.
America. I'm saying we're fucking it up,
right? Yeah,
we're fucking it up. I'm saying the exact same thing.
We're fucking it up.
I'm not saying it's a foreign.
All right,
thing.
we just hit an hour. I have like a couple. I have an interesting question that we can end on, or we can just call it.
Let me have the question.
If you could travel back in time, when would you go?
In the 50s.
Why? I knew you were going to say that, and that's so perfect.
Why? Why is that?
The majority of America would not go to the 50s.
Why do you say that?
Because you are a white guy, and I know that's so annoying because I even hate when I say that myself. But like the 50s were great for you as a white guy. 50s were not great for a lot of people.
Okay, you asked me about me.
No, I know.
So I'm not thinking about other people. I'm thinking about me.
I know. I just, yeah. Why would you go to 50s?
Because I think, first of all, I love the music. I know that sounds silly. I love the fucking music.
We have the music now.
Okay. Just give me my opinion.
Okay,
bitch.
yeah. Sorry,
the
sorry,
fuck, man.
sorry.
You live your fucking life the way you want to live it. You have to apologize.
No, there's no wrong answer to this.
I know this.
I just thought it would be interesting to see what we thought.
I love you. I know. I don't need the pat on the back. I know there's no wrong answer. Okay, I don't need the affirmation.
I just thought it'd be interesting. I think would show about what we think. So
I agree. Right. I'm okay with the question.
Sorry,
but if you let me
interrupted
answer
you.
it,
Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. But if you do let me answer it without giving
the
me
music,
a theory behind it,
sorry,
you'll understand.
That's what I do.
I know, but I'm telling you not to.
Okay.
So basically, that's why I'm saying shut up for a minute.
Okay.
All right. So I like the music. I like the fact that love and romance was an important thing. I like that. The men were fucking men. The women were women. The people knew their fucking roles. Men weren't pussies back then. They had their gangs. They were greasers.
Gangs. That's terrible.
No, but my point is meaning not gangs like they were like today with the fucking cribs and shit like that.
Crips.
That too.
The cribs.
Yeah.
They just all go to sleep. The cribs and the bassinets.
And the passive.
Those are the two. Oh, fuck you, or I'm a crib.
Listen, so I think that the community stuck together more. People worked hard. The generation came out from other countries, and they worked hard. They were proud to be Americans. Things were simpler. This is going to come off sort of wrong, so I don't mean this, but people more stuck with their own, meaning like, you got along, people sort of gravitate to their own kind of people. And I don't know, I find it I'm more of a romantic kind of person, and I think it was much more romantic. People worked hard. There was no fucking social media, no real TVs and shit like that. And
do you think you're looking at it like through rose-colored glasses?
Well, of course, I think we all do, because you're enamored by it, and it's sort of
because the 50s is viewed always as like a very romantic.
Time. You romanticize things. I think that I know I could see. I like men were men, women were women, and people worked hard, and they were like they hung out in their towns, and the communities looked out for one another, and people, when there were fights, they fought with their fucking hands. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I think that. They weren't
a traditional America.
They weren't pussies, and I like.
I might have said the question, or we just have two different questions. So like you would want to not just visit that, like that's where you'd choose to live. Like that's
if I had to go back in any time era.
I was initially, which is okay. They're just different questions. I was initially saying like just go back to like see, like go back for a day even.
Oh, that's a different, huge different question.
I didn't mean like if you had to like live in a time. Because if I had to live in a time,
I think that was your question.
I said, if you could travel back in time, when would you go? But so if you could live in a different time than now, yours would be the 50s. If you could go to a different time just to be a traveler, a time traveler, what would be your first? Like if a time machine came here right now?
Okay, well there's a.
And I'm not talking about like personal things, because like
not personal. Yeah,
of course you'd want to like go back and hang out with Pa. Like I'm not talking about that.
My brother and shit like that.
Right. I'm saying like just for to see, to experience.
Probably the Holocaust.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
you'd want to go back to see that.
Because I would want to be a part of it for a day to try to fucking take out some Nazis and try to make a difference.
Right, but what if you killed Hitler and like made the world way worse? You know. that could happen.
Couldn't be worse.
Like they say,
it wouldn't be worse.
There was 9/11 happened, and there was I'm forgetting the thing, but there was something where like there was a terrorist attack that was planned for a week before, or it was a week after. I'm messing up the details, and it was thwarted. And and stopping that is, or something about that is what like led to 9/11. Like if they didn't stop that, 9/11 wouldn't have happened, because that one would have happened. And
who
then
knows? That's just speculation. No one knows.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, who knows if you went back to kill Hitler?
You're just asking. But
we can see, like, you can experience. We literally, me and you went to the camps and we experienced it already.
Right. But here's another fun thing, and I know because I'm vacillating. The Roaring '20s would be fun. The partying, the dancing, the nightclubs, they'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be. But we have that. We have partying right now in nightclubs.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, the '50s. But
I wouldn't choose anything recent. You're sticking. You had 3 answers and they were all in the 20th century. That's really interesting.
Okay.
We have so much information on the 20th century. I'd go back to when Jesus was alive. I would want to see Jerusalem
So it's just desert.
No.
I know we were there. I know what the church.
I'd want to see the second temple, the kingdom of Judea.
Why would you want to?
Because I would want Jesus is arguably, not arguably, Jesus is the most influential figure in the history of the world. Our whole culture, our whole society, as people, as Americans, as humans, is directly influenced by Jesus in so many ways.
You're right.
I would want to meet him.
Fair enough.
I would want to meet him. I would want to see what that time was. I also I'm into religion, all that stuff. So I just think Jerusalem in that time, in that day, which when it was ruled by the Jews, it was ruled by the Romans and the Jews. To see the old, like when Jews weren't really in power, like when Jews like King David kind of shit, when we had the temple, we had a fucking kingdom, we fought wars as like the Jews as a nation. I think that'd be such a good time to see.
That's very interesting.
Talking to Jesus. Imagine sitting down and having a conversation with Jesus.
I would like to learn from him to be the best salesman. Because that's all he is.
Jesus wasn't. Paul and Peter were. Jesus didn't want a following. He just wanted reforms within Judaism. He did not want to start a religion at all. Christianity wasn't started until Jesus died, and then Peter and Paul spread the gospel around. Jesus never told them to do that.
See, I don't know.
Peter and Paul are the con men.
Salesmen.
They're the ones that were like, there's something here.
They're better than a New York Times bestseller, that book. The Bible's the biggest selling book.
Not even, it's literally it built society. It's the most influential thing.
Unbelievable.
It's the most influential thing in the history of the world. As like farming might be more influential, but you know what I mean? Like a thing that humans created.
Yep.
Christianity is the most important thing, because then that gave way to Islam, which was very influential as well, still is today, almost half the world.
That's scary.
So yeah, that would be my choice.
Interesting. So you like to go back and talk to Jesus?
Yeah, and just see that time, the most important time in the world.
Interesting. All right, I think we did well. We didn't interrupt each other.
No, we were good.
Proud of you, buddy. Love you, man.
Good job. I was going to give you a business high five, a well done.
We'll hug it.
Well done on me.
We'll hug it out afterwards.
Yeah.
Problem is, Bronson, we need like 3 hours. We have so much. I don't feel like we even scratched the surface.
No, I still have on here Twitter and Facebook banning Trump. We can talk about that next time. I have a interesting thing about what happened in Congress, but we did too much trigger stuff, so I'll save this for next time. But it's a really good one. I don't want to give it away to the people at home.
You do not give it away. All right.
I also have like a couple other just interesting topics. One about like jealousy. I thought we could talk about is interesting. I thought we could talk about.
Don't start giving away.
That's a teaser for next time.
Give people a reason to follow and listen and everybody please again, support's awesome, and tell your friends.
Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, click follow, or now check out our YouTube channel and subscribe. That's super helpful if you subscribe while you're watching this video. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and rate us. If you give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, that's like the most helpful thing, because then more people see it. That's how we get all these countries around the world seeing it, because the more ratings you have on Apple Podcasts, the more Apple will spread it. So help us out.
Yeah, please do that. And tell me about the YouTube again, Bronson. How do you handle that?
Most of the people watching, it's like just Daddy Issues Podcast with Jon and Bron. If you search that, then it comes up, because there are other Daddy Issues.
And they can follow, right, on YouTube? Or
yeah, subscribe. All
right, yeah, guys. Thank you so much.
We got a lot of watches on our last video. So yeah, we appreciate all the help.
All right, love you guys. Thanks for taking us home.
You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.